Uncle Peter was right. We did lose the London contract, but we won the PR campaign. Oh, and it's Elliot dropped the uncle.
Peter. Oh, how lovely. Thank you. She liked flowers. Your grandmother? Yes, grandmother. One thing I couldn't falter on.
Diversifying already. It was like a florist. Just when it was odd, no one turned up to work, just flowers and emails.
Like today, flowers and emails.
Flowers with menaces. Understandable.
I can't decide if it's a scene from My Fair Lady or if you're setting up a morgue.
Sounds like my big sis. Your mum was always very direct.
She had a cash flow crisis, of course.
Well, you can save on my wages.
No one wanted to look mercenary, but we were fighting for survival.
Well, at least Mrs. T's making a killing this morning.
Effective immediately.
She was like most dictators.
You don't have to do this.
Dr. Do-Good, not averse to rewriting history when she needed to.
No, after your tour de force last night, I assume that's exactly what you wanted.
I never did understand why she had it in for me so much more than everyone else. Maybe it was a woman thing. Whatever. I did. I felt let down.
I think you may be toxic.
No, that's harsh. It was never that.
There was no hidden agenda.
It wasn't planned. These things never are.
It all just happened.
Yes.
He couldn't be part of the future because he couldn't see it. That weekend brought it home, and shame is exhausting.
This is a day of celebration, is it?
The 40th anniversary is important to people. Amazing to see how everyone's got into it. Reminds us of where we've come from and why.
So, where is everyone?
King Bill? He was always up there after that. He was smarter than we gave him credit for. He learned to use it from them, that is true. The winning instinct came from them.
It doesn't have to be like this.
I've never forgotten their faces afterwards.
They weren't the same, any of them.
I used to dream
We
about
used to
it.
dream about it. All of us.
Still hard being a
living here
Stockman
together.
around here. People don't realise just how fragile it all is. Everything we've built up.
The work we do, they can't see.
Well, the legacy comes at a price.
There's still so much to do, more than ever.
Most people think climate change is over. Like they used to think feminism was over.
But right now we need to stop and take stock.
We need to keep redefining innovation.
We need to do this thing together.
It's obvious to everyone. We've gone as far as we can go.
Who's we?
So the next election, however you dress it up, comes down to racism.
We've got to do our bit. Making space for climate change refugees.
We've got to address how that will work with the locals and our own issues and population shift.
Little places like this, we're easily capable of getting insular again.
There's still nowhere for the ordinary people to be. The Stockmans did nothing to change that, and the next lot are no better.
I suppose they'll be trotting out all the old stories again for the anniversary. It's been 40 years.
Amazing. I don't feel a day older. They voted for ethical business.
Yes. They listened and they did.
Sorry to be blunt.
Go on, spit it out.
In my experience, people vote in two ways.
They either vote for the cause they think they believe in.
Tory, Labour, orangutans.
Because they think they should, because it's what's expected.
Or they vote with the personality, the glossy package, irrespective of the message.
Their vote is usually predetermined and always driven by self-interest.
On the rare occasions that they're inspired to vote spontaneously, it doesn't last.
And this lecture in election theory proves what?
Whatever happened last night, I told Howard, I'll never forget this. I used these exact words. I told him that in view of his previous day's performance, I didn't think that our business relationship was sustainable. The next morning I went over there and asked for a job straight out. You got them to follow you to the mountaintop.
And now you have to make good on the promises.
I know. Some of them don't believe it. I know some of them didn't vote for me. Some of this is just a big old protest vote against you.
That was her special skill. Dad said people just gave in and were persuaded later. He said that's how come he agreed to marry her.
Thanks.
But we don't need to stoop to their level.
They called her a banshee,
We've each had our say.
They didn't know what it meant.
They've had theirs.
but we guessed it wasn't good.
Everyone's had some fun.
And we kicked their heads and then got sent home.
Great, let's move on.
One big happy family.
We can stop the Stockman soap opera now.
Let's be honest.
I know. I let our relationship get
She
in the
wanted
way.
to win.
Because this place was her
My
home.
home.
How many people do you actually know in Porthcraig?
It can be a bit much being somewhere where everyone knows all about you. And everyone's happy to tell you what they think.
I didn't want to lose against you, and neither did you want to lose.
You only care about people in the abstract.
To a girl.
Funny. People really got into voting round here after that night. Even Kit. He couldn't move or fart without a referendum at one point.
Thanks.
Kit's right. We're not locals. We don't belong anywhere.
What do you want, Tom?
They still can't make up their minds what they want. It's the same old arguments, on and on and on.
I sort of made myself scarce.
Well, we got a bit bored, so we started to build towers from all the pots and the boxes. I think it might be Bill's idea.
Most things were after that.
Me, just a big kid with these little kids building this big pillar of corrupted palm oil hand lotion.
You.
She'd run out of friends.
Unbelievable.
Clearly desperate.
You're still CEO, we're still family, we can put this behind us.
She had dumb luck.
Is it that simple?
It
It's all
sounds
over.
simple for her.
Could be.
And then it all collapsed.
No,
It went everywhere.
Shattered the silence, seemed like at the time.
What?
it's not my problem.
You can't just walk away.
And they had this huge argument.
You didn't figure this bit out, did you? You saw what you wanted, you got it,
Peter,
but now you don't know what to do with
I
it.
can't, you know, I'm not the business, it's both of us.
Dad came out and shouted at
Kit
us.
was shouting.
You've got a lot of responsibility. A
You-
lot to live up to.
Don't think I don't know.
This is
Now perhaps you realise you can't just go off.
I've gone up.
And I'm
Really?
Go off and do whatever you want.
You know how
Say whatever you
What's the
feel
point
like.
of being a do-gooder if you're no good to your own family?
The importance of that meeting is exaggerated.
Yeah, I guess you could say there's a direct line from that day to this.
A lot of other things had to happen to get us where we are now.
I know I should stay and help you.
She had so much energy.
Actually, big sis, I am very, very tired. Last night I realised it wasn't enough.
We were going to rescue the polar bears in carbon-friendly helicopters. Be brave pioneers like your mum.
What are we talking about now?
I always believed that if I ignored my shortcomings, just kept on, reinvesting in this community, one day, just once, they would see, perhaps even say thank you, Peter.
But you can't go into public service if you want to be the people's friend.
And they will if we do it together.
This place could bleed you dry pretty quickly.
I don't want to be a Stockman. It's too tiring.
They all fancy Petra in Porthcraig. Even the old racist in the lifeboat. I still can't believe it. It was very sad.
The Freshwater Project's new programme starts on Friday. There's a flight first thing.
Dreadful. What a world where we fight wars over drinking water.
If I realised it, it probably wouldn't have made any difference. Look at you. Still, I was devastated when I heard she'd been shot.
We all were.
Can't believe you planned this without telling me.
She was her mother's daughter.
Chip off the old block.
Petra,
She was an inspiration. We grew up thinking that everything was possible.
Out of desperation, inspiration.
I'm sure Mrs. Truscott will be good support.
Mrs. Truscott doesn't believe in the cooperative.
In the end, we all rallied round. It's what we do here.
Neither do you.
I know they say it's warmer everywhere, but days like this I still feel cold. We started selling the stuff after all. Everyone did.
Not as the pure from palm to palm brand, no.
Why, it was incredible. It seemed like the whole world was visiting us and inviting us, wanting to learn.
We were just a speck of plankton on the whaleback, but we didn't stop.
It was money for old rope.
Nah, it's all out of date now.
But then, it was visionary. She had us mark them up as poison, and then...
Good luck with
But
it.
daring, they were marked at 4 times their face value.
Mad. I couldn't believe that it worked.
I've never had so much fun in my life. Or worked so hard.
And don't discount what I said. You could do worse than get into harness with Mrs. Truscott.
Blazing a trail for stuff that is standard now.
They sold in a month.
It's one of the best to this day. One of the best pieces of crowdsourcing I've seen.
She was unstoppable.
She was unbearable.
Peter, I didn't come halfway around the world to work with Mrs. Truscott.
Yes, I don't say this very often. But she was right about renewables. A rising tide lifts all the boats. That's what saved this town.
Multi-stakeholder solution.
And now it's just ordinary. But then I don't know that she even knew that's what she was doing.
What did you come back for?
I almost felt sorry for him. Local politics had been his entire life, and she had just rewritten the rule book.
Fine. Effective immediately.
No, 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 no.
There was that chill that you get when grown-ups are trying to pretend that everything's fine, but you know it isn't.
It was like a mist coming down. 1 minute bright sunshine, the next you can't see a hand in front of your face.
Like an old Wild Western. Everyone waiting for someone to do something.
They didn't notice me looking in through the window. Dad, he took them off. She was flailing it around like a fool, breaking stuff. And he held her. Like I'd seen him with a wild cub once that had hurt itself. He was strong. Stronger than her in that moment. It was the most beautiful thing. I don't know what was said, and it was never talked about, but she only said it could never have happened without him.
Then she just came out and she saw all the carnage and she just started laughing.
She said something like, maybe her little brother had been right all along. We couldn't have jam today, but we'd bloody well have it tomorrow.
She got us to carry the whole lot back in and wouldn't stop laughing or tell us why.
Dad, oh no, wait, maybe it was Bill. I can't remember now, that's terrible, isn't it? Anyway, one of them came back in with the labels and the rest is history.
She got me to knock up this new box of labels marked poison. And they were pretty good.
They were awful.
This is the best view. It's got a quality of light, and when it's not flooding or blowing sand up the high street, you can see why she loved it here.
It's no surprise she blew a gasket.
Navigate by the stars, that was her story, not mine.
The light sort of went out with her after Peter Stockmann died.
More so than when Dad went.
Sorry to be insensitive, but you didn't know her, and she was a great one for everyone, telling the truth.
That's the first lesson I take from them.
Never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
They want me to move because of coastal erosion. They're worried I'm going to live forever.
Never expect any loyalty, even from those people closest to you.
And I plan to.
I'll hand over before they stab me in the back.
It gets into you, this place. I'm almost a local now.
The youngsters have got to push on.
No, that's the new fishing tackle place. Pages sold up ages ago.
I'm just waiting for the right time.
Uncle Peter had a motorbike.
Doctor Stockmann. The do fucking gooder.
Do gooder. Maybe it's genetic. Somehow we keep the world turning. We make the revolution. She wasn't wrong about that. But I honestly couldn't tell you if it's made us happy.